Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're so glad you are all joining here this beautiful Shabbat spring evening, especially this Shabbat right before we begin our holiday of Passover. So hopefully after services, you're enjoying one of our last carb wheat-filled meals, unless you're gluten-free, in which case you're just having a regular meal, as we get ready for our season of freedom and rejoicing. So we're looking forward to welcoming Shabbat and our Passover season, which is also going to include a fun, brief Torah service. But first, we're going to begin with words of welcome as we sing together, Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, how good it is that we are here together.
Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Yadadai Yadadai Hine Matov Yadadai Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We'll welcome Shabbat with warmth and light and hope as we light our Shabbat candles, and I'm happy to invite Marilyn and Roger Friedman to light our candles for us this evening. I've also got regular matches.
Lighting everything.
There you go. You got it. It's supposed to be our last act of work, so if it's a little bit of work, then it then it works. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lecha adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
As we get ready for Passover, I want to wish you all again a Shabbat Shalom. And why don't we take a moment to turn towards someone in the congregation who's near you, someone you know, maybe even better, someone who you don't know, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom, introduce each other. Let's welcome each other this Shabbat. I'd like to share a brief reading as we are finishing up welcoming each other from this beautiful Haggadah called Night of Beginnings. And it's by Marcia Falk, who's a Jewish liturgist. and she wrote a very, very beautiful Haggadah with some of her own poetry that I recommend checking out. This is one of her readings in this Haggadah called Change, the Flow of Life. She writes, "Here we are once again, about to recount the transformative story of our peoplehood, just as we did last year and the year before. Every year we tell the same story, but each year we are enjoined to make it new, to bring our own lives into it, to view it as if it had happened to each of us individually. Repetition and newness, together they are the flow. The fountain, the flow of life, all life forever in motion, ever renewing and being renewed. History is movement, and movement is change. In Hebrew, Birkat Hazman, the blessing of time, we bring to awareness the passing of welcome, the moment in which we stand, even as we see ourselves moving forward. As we renew the festival, we renew ourselves, immersing ourselves in the flow of time, the flow of life." So perhaps this Shabbat we can take a moment before completely diving into Passover to perhaps consider where we are at in this flow of time and this flow of life as we meet Passover and this season. But regardless of that, we can have so much gratitude just for being here, for being together here in this moment and wherever we may be for Passover. Let's continue singing together L'chad Odi, our joy of welcoming Shabbat.
L'chad Odi, Likrat Kala, Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabla, Nikabla. L'chad Odi, Likrat Kala, Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabla, Nikabla. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.
Let's read together on our screens or page 27 this beautiful poem written by Israeli poet Leah Goldberg. "Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways." If you are able, we invite you to please rise for Baruch Hu, our call to prayer.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada die die die, 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 yada die die die. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Yada die die die, yada die die die, yada die die die, yada die die die.
We'll remain standing for a moment as we continue with this English for Ahavat Olam and learning Torah, which we will have a brief Torah service later, so it is fitting. Please read along with me. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And may that also be true for our Seder discussions and diving into the Haggadah, where the questions and the mysteries are many, and that journey is the beautiful part of it. We'll remain standing and sing together Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Mahuto Leolam Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated. We'll continue chanting Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Well, every year every Shabbat we sing Micha Mocha, these words of joy and ecstatic celebration of our ancestors as they crossed through the Sea of Reeds, and that pivotal moment of their exodus from Egypt as they experienced freedom for the very first time. And now perhaps it is even closer than ever as we celebrate that moment and that journey tomorrow night for Passover. So of course we could not pass over the opportunity, I'm sorry, to, thank you for laughing, that was very kind, to sing Micha Mocha this evening and also adding a little bit more. So we'll sing Micha Mocha, and then we are also going to go into the Debbie Friedman classic of Miriam's song as she led the women in dancing and celebration. She held out hope for freedom and for a more just and freer world, and we hold out hope for that today as well in all of its forms. So please join us for Micha Mocha and Miriam's song.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song, one who's been exalted. Miriam and the women dance, they dance all night long. And Miriam was a weaver of a unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one to say the history. With every stand and every thread recrafted her delight. When women touched the spirit, she danced towards the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song, one who's been exalted. Miriam and the women dance, they dance all night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. With every thought the sea would part with outstretched hand. We would pass the way to freedom and march to promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song with one who's been exalted. Miriam and the women dance, they dance all night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in the hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, saying with praise and might, that just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance all night. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song with those who've been exalted. Miriam and the women dance, they dance a whole night long. Dance a whole night long. Dance a whole night long.
We're going to continue now with our Amidah prayers, beginning with Adonai Sifatai. We'd like to invite you, if you are able, to please rise.
Sfatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehillah techa.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magi Makel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishemei Afar, Lichamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Vene'emanat Halachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, Ukedoshim B'chol Yom Yehallelucha Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. I will now take a few moments of silent personal prayer, which you can find on pages 54 to 60 if you have a prayer book. You can use the words here on our screens, or just as good, whatever words are in your heart this Shabbat evening.
Say shalom, shalom bimromav, uya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oh say shalom, shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Shalom, shalom bimromav, uya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm very excited. Before we do our brief Torah service, we are going to do a brief text study, very brief. And of course, if we have lots of questions, that's great. And maybe we'll get to them, and maybe we'll chat more after the service to kind of introduce what we are going to be chanting. So let me come on down here. All right, so as you can see on our screens, or as these are coming around, you might be thinking, Beshalach, if you're really paying attention to the Torah portions, we're out of Exodus at this point in our Torah in our Torah cycle. Ira, almost rabbinical student, is looking at me like, hey, I know this. This is weird. So yes, we are supposed to be in the Torah portion of Tzav, which is the second Torah portion in the book of Leviticus. But you know what? Passover is starting tomorrow, so I figured we can take a break from Leviticus and the animal sacrifices and all that gross stuff that goes on. There's some good things in Leviticus, but I figured we could focus on this beautiful moment that we're going to return to tomorrow evening in the Torah portion called Bishalach, and in particular for us to return to the moment that we actually sang about in Miriam's song after the Song of the Sea. we see that Miriam has led all of the women in dancing. So I'm curious if anyone would like to, you don't have to read the Hebrew, I'll chant the Hebrew for us in a little bit, but if anyone would like to read this Hebrew from Exodus 15:20 through 21, and it's here on the screens as well. Would anyone like to read? Just the English. Joel, thank you.
Then Miriam the prophet, Aaron's sister, picked up a hand drum, and all the women went out after her in dance with hand drums. And Miriam chanted for them, "Sing to Adonai, for he has triumphed gloriously. Horse and driver, he is hurled into the sea."
Thank you, Joel, so much. So I want us to take a look at these two verses, and I know it can be really tempting. Maybe you've already started reading below this, but if we could kind of hold our attention to the commentary, because we're all commentators, we can all add our own questions and our own interpretations. The commentary is great, and we'll get there. But I would first like to ask: is there anything that jumps out at you from these verses, in particular, how Miriam is described? Juniper.
Well, she is listed as the prophet and also as Aaron's sister.
2 for 2, yes. So she is listed as a prophet, and she is also mentioned as Aaron's sister. So we have not seen Miriam in the text. If you've seen the Ten Commandments or Prince of Egypt, which I highly recommend, we do see her throughout those films, but in the text we have not seen her since she approached Pharaoh's daughter as a young girl and reunited Moses with his mother, with their mother. So she's been completely absent from the text when Moses runs away in the burning bush and the 10 plagues, and this is actually when she comes back. So one of those big questions is, it says that she's a prophet, and it's right there, Haniviyah. It is unquestionable that she is a prophet. You can't like translate that another way. So how then is she a prophet if we've never actually seen her be a prophet before? And then the other thing, Juniper, that you mentioned is that she is mentioned as Aaron's sister. Well, who else's sister is she? Moses. Yeah. So why Aaron's sister and not Moses' sister, or why not even Aaron and Moses' sister? I would say we don't necessarily have to define her as anyone's sister. She can just be Miriam. But still, we have that detail. So before we move on to the commentators, does anyone have any ideas of either of these two questions? How would you answer it if you were Rashi or some other commentator? Yeah, Marilyn.
I suppose that as a prophet, Miriam was maybe someone who could see into the future and prophesied, that I didn't even read this until the next word, but that she prophesied, that something was going to happen. And then because she took her brother to Egypt, and then, and then a miracle happened.
That's great. That's great, Marilyn. So just the way that she interacted with the daughter of Pharaoh, the way that she handled that situation and allowed all of that to go successfully, that in of itself could have made her a prophet. I love that. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on, but I want to mention the rabbis do say that one thing that does make her a prophet is related to those hand drums, and that when everyone was leaving Egypt, they only had a few moments to gather their things. Miriam was sure to make sure that the women brought timbrels, that they brought instruments of freedom and rejoicing, because she knew that there would be a time for it. You wouldn't think if you're going to leave your place forever that maybe a hand drum or a timbrel would be the first thing that you would think of, but Miriam knew. Now Rashi and our Talmud have another idea. Would someone like to read Rashi? This is one of our medieval commentators, one of our most famous guys. Anyone want to read? Ira.
Sorry. Miriam the prophet. But where had she prophesied? When she was the sister of Aaron alone, before Moses was born, she said, My mother will at some time bear a son who will deliver Israel, etc., as stated in Soto 12b.
Thank you, Ira. So Rashi here has a 2-for-1. He says, not only do I know why Miriam is a prophet, but it's because she's called here Aaron's sister, because it was before she was Moses' sister, before Moses was even born. And he is quoting from the Talmud, as you can see here, Sota 10:12. So why don't we just head right into this explanation that he is referencing, this lovely story. Would anyone like to maybe just get started, and then if you want to hand it off to someone else after a paragraph or two, you can just hand the mic back.
Father was his generation's great man. When he saw that Pharaoh said, every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. From Exodus 1:22. Amram said, we are laboring for nothing by bringing children into the world to be killed. Therefore he arose and divorced his wife. All others who saw this followed his example and arose and divorced their wives.
Whoa. Yeah, we don't teach this one in Sunday school. Anyone want to continue from there? All right, I'll keep going, and then if anyone wants to pick up, please raise your hand. His daughter Miriam said to him, Father, your decree is more harsh for the Jewish people than that of Pharaoh, as Pharaoh decreed only that boys should be killed. But you decreed both on baby boys and baby girls. And now no children will be born. Additionally, Pharaoh decreed to kill them only in this world. But you decreed in this world and the world to come, as those not born will not enter the world to come. Anyone want to pick up from here? We're going to continue Miriam's monologue. Yeah.
Miriam continued, additionally, because Pharaoh is wicked, it is uncertain whether his decree will be fulfilled or not. But you are a righteous person, therefore your decrees will undoubtedly be fulfilled, as it is stated concerning the righteous. You shall also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Job 22:28.
So Amram accepted his daughter's words and arose and remarried his wife. And all others who saw this followed his example and arose and brought back their wives. And we know then, or the rabbis then infer from there that that is when Moses is born, from Amram and Yocheved remarrying. So what does Miriam accomplish here? Anyone want to share what she does?
Changes her father's mind.
Yeah, she changes her father's mind. Not only that, but she speaks up against her father, who's clearly this very well-respected man. Miriam's just a child here, so you have a child speaking up against her father, who is very well-respected.
What a bunch of lemmings. Well, I mean, one guy does it and everybody does it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, yes. Right. Yeah, so Mary's saying, really, everybody is just following, just jumping off the same bridge as Miriam's father, and I guess so. I guess he was that well-respected, or maybe hope seemed that bleak, that they really felt like that was the right way to go, was to not even have any more children, and maybe it seemed like, of course, it's a horrific decree, right? So maybe the Israelites felt like there was no hope left. But how does Miriam respond to that? What are her arguments about to her father that he's making the wrong decision?
No more future generations.
Yeah, no more future generations, and therefore your decree is worse than Pharaoh's, which that is quite a thing to say to your father. But yeah, she's saying that he's being even more harsh, and therefore you are saying this is the end of the existence of the Israelites. That's exactly right. Any other thoughts on what things that she does? So I think that's exactly right, Joel. She not only allows for Moses to be born, but she prevents the Jewish people from dying out completely. That even though we know this is a story from the Talmud, this is a fan fiction, as I like to say. It's not in the actual biblical text, but still the rabbis are giving her this incredible moment of prophecy where she does not allow the people to give in to despair and give in to Pharaoh's decree, And instead she says, no, we can't do that. We have to allow the Jewish people to continue. Also, the rabbis have her quoting scripture, which is pretty amazing. She quotes Job, which happens way later, like way later. So to the rabbis, space and time is kind of funky. It's a little sci-fi. Hi, Michael. But still, that's something the rabbis do. So again, the fact that they are having, we're not going to say that they are perfect feminists, these ancient rabbis, but what they are actually doing for Miriam and giving her this role is really incredible, and they did not have to include this story at all. So our final question, Miriam, we put a cup of water on our Seder plates, or we can, to remember the well that Miriam had. The rabbis also give her this power of having a well of water that sustained the people throughout 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. So again, Miriam is this image of hope and nourishment and sustaining the people even through really difficult times. And we are perhaps also in a wilderness right now. We're in a really difficult time as a Jewish people. So what can Miriam teach us about hope this Passover? Yeah, Juniper.
Regardless of how dark things seem to be, there's no reason to stop. You need to keep living regardless.
We need to keep living. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, I think that's exactly right, Juniper, that we can't give up hope, that we have to keep going, we have to keep celebrating, we have to lean into our joy and into our hope and into our community, and that we absolutely have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and that we can rely on each other as a community to do that, as well as our stories, that they can be renewed for us in a way that is additionally meaningful for us this year. So that is maybe a little bit of how Miriam can inspire us, and maybe our story of Exodus of freedom can inspire us. And I love this image of Miriam telling the people, bring your timbrels, bring them. No matter how dark things get, we're gonna need them to celebrate. So hopefully we can, in our own way, do that as well. So we'll say Shabbat Shalom to that. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna head into our Torah service. We'll invite you, if you are able, to please rise. And we will take the Torah from the Ark. And if you would like to come on up and watch the Torah being read, if you'd like to do an aliyah, we're not going to bring the Torah around just to keep things moving time-wise here, but you are welcome to come on up here to our pulpit, and you're welcome to kind of watch the Torah and watch this reading. Anyone want to come on up? Do you guys want to open up the Ark? Want to play by? It does look like there's Torahs in there. There are 3 of them, actually. Isn't that cool? You can't see. Great. We have the blue one.
Ashlosha devarim. Ashlosha devarim.
Let me see if I can find that.
Ashlosha.
There we go.
Ashlosha devarim. Ha'olam. Ha'olam. Omer. Ashlosha devarim.
Go down there.
Ashlosha devarim. Ashlosha. Ashlosha devarim. Ha'olam. Ha'olam. Omer. Allah Torah. Ve'al Avodah. Ve'al Gimelu Chasadim. Allah Torah. Ve'al Avodah. Ve'al Gimelu Chasadim.
You may be seated. Whoop. All right. And again, if anyone wants to come on up, you are welcome to, or you can enjoy the Torah reading from your seats. You guys can come on in a little closer. And for those of you who are streaming at home, you can also see what we are seeing here, or if you're seated, you can see. So I'm going to chant the section right after this, but this is the Song of the Sea, and there's no other piece of the Torah that looks quite like this, with the words stretched out. And actually, if you're up here, you can look on the screen a couple lines down. There's our Mi Chamocha prayer that we just sang a little bit earlier in the service. Some folks have This is a song, it's a poem, so maybe that's one of the reasons why it looks a little bit different than everything else instead of the regular prose. Anyone have any ideas what this may visually look like as well? There's no wrong answers here. What does it kind of look like?
The Ten Commandments.
The Ten Commandments, yeah, which we're going to get to in like the next portion or two. But yeah, you can kind of see those two tablets, and that's what the people are moving towards. They're moving towards